Hey brother, hey brother, hey brother, hey brother, hey sheepa brother.
GM, welcome back to the channel. In this one, we're talking about valuations of cryptos and also airdrops and how these have been playing out over the past couple months, really. So in this one, a bit of an analysis on what's been going on and how to think about the markets right now, because there has been a shift and we're seeing new entrants into the markets who probably aren't analyzing things in the same way we were during the bear. So if you do enjoy this one, make sure you subscribe to the channel and we'll jump on in. So you've probably seen this bell curve meme on crypto Twitter quite a bit. And if you haven't, let's just introduce you to it. On the left-hand side of the bell curve here, we have the more retarded of investors, to say the least. Apologies if you take any offense to that, but that is just my sense of humor. In the middle, we have the kind of middle IQer, the mid-curver, probably people with general intelligence that is slightly above the average human being, and those who regard themselves as pretty smart, to be honest with you, but they are middle of the curve. And then to the right-hand side, you have the right curvers, the absolute gigabrains, who can see things that others can't and can also understand the left curve and their way of thinking. So here we have a meme about dog coins. The left curve stating, cute dog mascot, I buy the coin. The middle saying, no, you need to analyze the fundamentals. And of course, there are zero fundamentals for a meme coin and dog coins. Yet we see in the market today, bonk, absolutely melting face. Doge likely to follow here as well. Pretty funny stuff. And on the right hand side, a rational analysis of irrational processes is bound to fail, says the right curve gigabrain. So all this to say, currently in the market, it looks like you need to turn your brain off quite a bit. So here we have Lido, and we're going to talk about Jito and also Celestia here to try and round these things off. But we have Lido, $22 billion of TVL. That is the amount of staked ETH and some other assets. There's a bit of staked SOL with Lido and some other coins as well. But down here we have Jito in number 7 with a TVL of around $500 million. So a huge discrepancy between the two, like a 40x plus away from Jito all the way up to Lido there. So the rational investor may be stating at this point, Jito should be nowhere near the valuation of that of Lido, because Lido is securing so much more. But there is more than this to actually think about within this equation here. Let's jump into the actual category they both live within, which is the liquid staking governance tokens. So if you go to CoinGecko or CoinMarketCap at the moment in time, and you just look at the screens, all you have is market cap, this big number here, and obviously the price. So any people entering the markets are probably looking at price first and foremost, and then some potentially are looking at the market caps as well, because these are of course ranked in market cap order. But I honestly think a lot of people are just looking at the main figure here, which is pretty hilarious. But you can see if we just go down to number 4 here, Jito, currently at 357, Lido at 244. There will be people in this market currently thinking Jito is more expensive than Lido due to the fact its price is higher. So do realize that as well. I've seen quite a few clips being posted on Twitter about people just buying tokens because the unit number, the unit bias they have is playing a major role. So if you've got a token, for example, this one down here, that's just 5 cents, people think I can buy X thousand number of these tokens. If they go to $10 a pop, I'm a millionaire, etc., etc. But not to move too far away from the subject matter here, market cap is listed, Jito 400 mil, and then 2.2 billion here for Lido. So the point here is that FDV, which is the fully diluted valuations, which if you click into Lido, most of its coins are actually circulating. It's going to get to 1 billion in supply. So market cap 2.1 and fully diluted is at 2.4, 2.5 there. So not too much inflation. If we do the same for Jito Sol here, market cap is $400 million. So that is the current market capitalization. But if all tokens were to be emitted today and we get to the full end goal of 1 billion, the FDV here is 3.5 billion. But again, I don't think anyone cares about the figure down here. And as we'll look at the tokenomics in just a second, there are no actual emissions for this token as well. So I think the right curvers, the gigabrains, are saying, look, this thing isn't actually emitting tokens for a long while. There is not that much circulating or not much of a float on the market at this point in time. Let's bid this thing up. Left curvers are probably thinking 400 mil market cap. Looks pretty low in the rankings here. Maybe this is going to move on up quite a bit because Solana is the hot token right now. And this is obviously related to Sol. So Sol good coin, Jito therefore a good coin as well. let's jump into Lido's token unlocks here. And if we just scroll down, so I think the valuation of these tokens as well has something to do with who's getting the tokens and what they're doing with them. Because if you look at Lido here, there was 3 breakdowns: team and validators. Second one down here is the investors. So 40%, 35%, and then 25% to the DAO treasury. So there wasn't really any airdrop for participants. They weren't able to garner a community from doing that. So what we're seeing in the market is you drop a token, you airdrop it out to people, you've then incentivized users to come and use your dApp. You've also incentivized them people financially to be a grassroots supporter of your protocol as well. And Lido just didn't capture any of that. Now, currently the tokens have pretty much all emitted here, a lot of them going to VCs. And what we saw with the actual seed rounds of this, as confirmed by Kobe, a load of the initial seed round investment was at 1 cent. So the people who got rich off the back of Lido were the early VCs. Imagine 1 cent, turn that into like $2.50 as of today. Not a bad, cool 250x there. And if you look through the history of Lido as well, just giga dumping from all those big VC investors because they were essentially given an absolute layup and they sold their tokens onto retail's heads. So I think when looking at valuation, we also have to look at who's got the tokens, how they've got the tokens, and what does it mean. So this is Jito here. So if we just scroll down, what you'll notice on this is that currently there's not a lot of circulating tokens. So as we saw from previous page over here, just 115 million tokens actually out there and live. Some supply, of course, to come online. But who actually received the tokens? So yesterday's airdrop was the community airdrop. And if we just scroll down a little bit more, you can see this on the chart here. Community growth, a total of 342 mil tokens, 90 million of which were immediately distributed. And I think another 10 mil went to validators and some other like core contributors as well. And the remaining tokens in here, the other 240 mil, will be controlled by DAO governance votes. And of course, those with governance power are those who are holding JTO tokens right now. So essentially what we can see here is there's also an incentive to hold the JTO token, as you can probably direct where some of these 243 odd mil tokens go in the future. And then as you can see from the breakdown here, nothing's really being emitted to this cliff here. So as you can see, those who are potentially going to dump the token, the core contributors down here and the investors, so teams and VCs, etc., they've all got a 1-year lockup. So for the next year, the current supply on the market is pretty much all there is, DAO dependent on votes, of course. But almost what you can see right now is the status quo until December of 2024. So if we just think of it on a basic point of view here, they've airdropped a load of tokens to the community. Everyone's very happy about that. You've just brought on board a huge number of people who are now very happy with Jito, who will continue to use Jito and probably be cheerleaders for Jito. The ones who wanted to cash out have been able to cash out and make some serious buck yesterday as well. And now you can see there's incentive to actually buy up this token to bring it in towards a value maybe a bit closer to that of Lido and others. But not only is Jito a liquid staking token, but it also captures MEV as well. MEV stands for maximal extractable value. And if you check out this article here from July of this year, crypto firm Flashbots raises 60 mil from Paradigm-led round. And these guys are all about MEV. So I've seen quite a lot of people talk about how Jito is a combination of Lido plus Flashbots. And Flashbots here with that raise there, their overall market cap was somewhere in the region of like 200, 250 mil. So in a way, Jito kind of has this dual narrative as well because it does have MEV capture. Here's a quote from Anatoly, the CEO of Solana on Jito. He says, MEV is a rapidly growing business model for blockchains. Jito has a great approach to maximize the benefits of MEV to the network and minimize the negative externalities of MEV to the rest of the users and applications running on Solana. So I do think that the valuation of Jito will play quite a bit of catch up towards that of Lido and probably will be, one of the top tier LSD protocols in here, maybe push towards Rocket Pool or even higher here, higher than Frax as well, somewhere just below Lido. And I honestly think that $1 billion market cap is not out of the question for this on a circulating basis here. So 1 bill in this column here, not even looking at the FDV, the fully diluted market cap. I think it's a meme in a bull market. Now here's the token unlock schedule for Celestia. This one also has a lot of similarities with that of Jito in terms of the vesting schedule and the fact there was a large airdrop to users. So that is pretty interesting. So as you can see, a huge cliff here coming after 1 year. Back on Jito, exactly the same. A huge cliff comes after 1 year. 10% of tokens pretty much rewarded to community. On Celestia, public allocation was a massive 20% there. So a nice big fat airdrop for those who got involved. And we'll look at the charts on these because I think that's the interesting part. They're not competitors in any way. That's not the similarity I'm drawing up here, but they're two good projects, and by that I mean they are actually, good tech, they're sought after, and also they've launched in a very similar circumstance here and the same market conditions as well. So very similarly, if you look through here, public allocation, fully locked, all the tokens straight out the gates for the airdrops, and then all of these tokens within here, there was a little bit of TGE for R&D and ecosystem, but for early backers, the seed rounds, and the core contributors, which is the team, all of these are subject to a 1 year lockup, and then they vest, hence the cliff you can see up there. So in both of these instances, for both of these tokens, no more supply is hitting the markets here for another year. And so if you think about it, are they going to probably release some improvements, some upgrades? Are they going to continue to grow? And for the answer for both of these is probably yes. Meanwhile, there's more people coming into the markets due to market conditions being bullish. And so it would seem from a basic supply and demand equation here that both of these should tick on up. So here is the Celestia chart. As you can see from here, it launched, dumped down immediately like a big wick to the downside. And then through this period here, which lasted around 9 days, there was, of course, a lot of people just cashing in their airdrops. So throughout here, you have people just incentivized to dump. They probably didn't really know what the token did. They'd farmed it and decided to cash in a quick buck. So through here, you have this kind of distribution airdrop sellers who are getting themselves out of position and out of tokens. And then after that, you have this markup phase. As I say, it's likely that if we continue with bullish market conditions, there is a set amount of finite supply and there's likely to be fundamental updates, etc. The price generally, I think, will tick up for both of these. Then the amber line that I've put on here at around $7 was the point at which Celestia hit a $1 billion market cap. So this actually took Celestia from Genesis here to hitting $1 billion around 17 days only, which is pretty damn quick. As you can see, resistance, bit of a pullback after 1 billy, then broke back through, and then we're away at the races a little bit here. And I do generally think this one will trade higher. But if we look at Jito here, we've got the amber line. This is if Jito can hit a $1 billion market cap, the same as Tia did. We've also got the airdrop dump at the start. A lot of people posting their success of cashing in that lovely airdrop that happened yesterday, but people got out of coins pretty quickly. There will obviously be some continued selling over the next few days, maybe even few weeks. But I do think people have cottoned on with the fact Celestia launched, people dumped their tokens and were punished. And so people are a little bit wiser to Jito here. And obviously people did dump, but I think it's not at a bad valuation for people to actually bid into this thing and for big VCs wanting to get on board to actually get a slice of the pie here as well. So we did have a bit of a consolidation and it's breaking out today, which is literally like 24 hours after this thing launched. So this was super, super quick. It's already seemingly on the move. How long till we get up to $1 billion? I do think it's going to be a case of when we hit $1 billion, not if, because if we go back to this initial page, I think there will still be a case to be had for saying Jito is still relatively cheap, even if it has half the market cap of Lido. Additionally, if you look at Celestia's current market cap, around $1.3 billion, I don't think that is too far out the question for Jito to come and hit that also. And we have now precedent in the market for a newly airdrop token in the same market conditions with a very similar distribution to go on and break 1 billy. And finally, to end with the meme as well, as Horny posted, always be the guy who's worried about the token unlocks in 2 years when he knows his trade will last less than a week. So I think it's time to join the left side of the bell curve, understand that these market conditions are changing quite rapidly here, and we can see the blueprints being mapped out for us right about now, and I think they will continue to play out for at least some period here as this market continues to go through the gears. There's a lot of signs that we're developing at quite a rapid pace here, and a lot of people are coming into the market at this point in time. If you check out Cardano today, it's priced up massively, and that is a real bellwether for retail entering the markets here. So I hope you enjoyed this one, just my thoughts on pricing some of these cryptos, a little bit of airdrops and their blueprints as well. As this market progresses, there's going to be a lot more airdrops that do come out, some big tokens and token names. So we're starting to see how these things could play out here with a couple of early runners. If you enjoyed this one, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.